Hey y'all, did we ever tell you the story about the time we went to Santa Fe, New Mexico? We ate way too many chili peppers and Ray had a massive explosion? Well, you're gonna have to stay till the end of the video in order to hear the rest of that story and how everything came out.
I'm Ray, and you're watching the Corn Dog Caravan channel. My wife Chris and I decided there's more to life than working and doing house projects. So we sold everything we owned, built out a Ram ProMaster we call Lotus, because others think it's stupid, and are traveling full-time seeing friends, family, and exploring the beautiful country around us, along with our 2 Boston Terriers.
Ray and I decided to do a DIY composting toilet for our van build. When I say we, I mean he built us a composting toilet. I'm so glad we did. We've been on the road for a year and a half, and we're going to talk to you about why we like our composting toilet. Also, I've seen a trend lately on YouTube of various van folks having a really hard time maintaining their very expensive composting toilet, having to lug it out of their van, the dumping of all the compost, the cleaning. So I'm really glad we went with our DIY. It was a fraction of the cost of your expensive no water toilets, and we're going to talk about that today. We've been in the van for a year and a half, and so we're able to give you a real review of how this has been going on. So today we are going to talk about in today's video the cost, the maintenance, and the odor of our DIY composting toilet.
So let's talk costs. So the total build was just at probably $150. Where the cost breakdown is roughly $20 for a Bemis self-closing, nice soft close toilet seat and lid. The urine separator, it's porcelain. It's made by Shit and Blossoms or urinSeparator.com out of Serbia of all places. Wonderful product, very durable, and one nice perk of porcelain over other options that are usually made of plastic. There are other urine separators. The porcelain doesn't hold any odor, so it's just like a commode in your house. You can clean it out with some Lysol or whatever kind of spray you want to use. Plastic, we hear they retain the odors, they're hard to clean, just higher maintenance, I guess if you go with the plastic route. Inside we use, like from Farm Supply, I think is where I bought this. You saw the bucket. I melted the front so it matched the curve of the diverter here at the front. And then inside the PVC tube, it's 1.5 PVC, is a little computer fan. I also wired in a switch so I can turn off the fan if needed, if the toilet's not going to be used for a certain length of time. Downy bottle is free. All of the wood materials, everything added up to about $150. Now, one little item that we added after the fact, probably about a year into the being on the road, is we would struggle if we weren't on a good level ground and it was time to change the bag or empty the pee bottle. We always kind of had to hold on to this so that this wouldn't come crashing down. So I just put in a simple little lid support, and that works wonders.
Game changer.
So lift the lid, empty your business, and then when you're done, just pull on that. And that's it.
What's in there?
So off to the side of the toilet build, it's where we hide all of our special goods, our 8-gallon bag, trash can bags. We do use them medium time to time, especially if we're going to be out in the woods for at least a week plus, and we have nowhere to dispose of the poo. We've got our composting material, we've got our little spray here, and then here's a little idea. Keep your lid for your laundry detergent, and that way if you've got a full bottle and you think you may spill it, put the lid on it, either in a Ziploc or in a cereal container. Put your coir in here, add a little water, mix it up in here if you need to. But when it's time to use the coconut coir and you need to cover it, just lift the lids, do a little sprinkle, and then put it back in here. So I built kind of everything around. All of my measurements were essentially made around all of the different pieces that we use. The coconut coir, the bottles, and if you even need a little Ziploc for some extra, you've got that here.
I'm also going to say something that you did.
Yeah.
You made it modular.
Oh yeah.
So we've got little, that's been in there for a long time, it might not, but he's built little pieces in little grooves. So
we can,
as our needs change, we can move it around. There you go. And you made it all fancy with some hinges on the back.
Yeah, it was contemplated on painting them white, but the black's fine.
Okay, so this is another thing, and I know we're talking about cost, but people really get a little offended that our toilet is just sitting out in the open. So I want to just make a comment that during the build process, we were going to build a cover to go on top of it and then put a seat, like a cushion on it. That was our initial plan. And
we tried it.
Well, we didn't build the cover.
Right.
Because we then decided that we didn't want to have to take a cover off to use the bathroom. And so anyway, we just don't care. And we use it as a seat anyway. And then we did try to do a cushion. And it just because of the toilet seat, it just didn't work. So honestly, I know that this is not a floor plan for everybody. And
what do we call it?
Our poo with a view.
Look at that view.
There we go. So we understand that
and I think no matter where you put a toilet of any size, a cassette, a compost, it doesn't matter. The only other place you could put it, you can't put it in the doorway. The only other place would be right by the bed.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're getting older. You never know if you got sick in the middle of the night.
You don't want to be pooping by somebody's head.
Either pooping or it's coming out of here. You don't want to be sitting by the bed and having
somebody being sick right by your head.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be good. So I don't think there's a magic spot. The only thing I could think differently is if you could have it where it slides in and out. That's just too much extra weight for all the mechanism. Too much, I don't know. It's just not our thing.
This works for us, right?
That's right. And if it doesn't, we can always change it.
Right.
So that is the cost. I checked recently, even with the euro conversion, the urine separator still today is about $90 US and then about $30 for shipping. So timing, I think, from the time of the order, they also do custom, which would be kind of neat. I don't know what I would want to put on a custom urine separator.
Yeah,
maybe some
she does
flowers.
artwork. Yeah, she does artwork in the urine separators. Just go to the urinSeparator.com website. They're also on Facebook and Instagram. I know this sounds crazy because it's a urine diverter, but she does beautiful work and can do some customization for you too.
Maybe put a little arrow aim here.
Like a target.
Aim here.
Right.
Yeah, target symbol would be good.
Anyway.
So, yep, so $150, give or take, and we're happy with it.
Now I want to talk to you about the maintenance. Basically, the emptying of our composting toilet. Now, you'll see videos online of different composting toilets and what people have to go through. But the one thing that did not look good to me was the fact that I would have to take out our Nature's Head, because that's what we were going to go with, and take it out of the van to do all of its cleanup. Here, we built ours stationary. Everything stays put. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to clean this out. You open the lid, and yes, that's real life going on in there. You take out the bag, and you take out the pee jug. Once you have your goods, you hand it to your husband, and he takes it to the portalet down at the end.
Now, I'm just gonna pour out number one. Now, if you're not near a water system, you can take the number one out to the woods. And I guess technically two, pack in, pack out. If you had nowhere else to store or dispose of number two and extra materials, you could always dig a hole, bury it, just like you do if you had to do your business in the woods without a toilet. Now, I'm not going to be putting the plastic in the toilet system because that would just be bad. I'll empty the contents only and bring the bag back. Let's go.
It's obviously a family affair. Voila.
It's empty.
Now, we're not always in a dispersed camping format. We're normally out in the middle of nowhere. So if this was a time frame where we couldn't dump our poop, we would actually just leave it in the toilet. We generally bag it up and throw it away in a garbage can, just like you would a baby's diaper. And we always dump out the pee in nature. I mean, animals pee out in nature all the time, right?
Fertilizer.
We only had one little turd in that bag, so we're going to be super responsible and reuse that bag. But I wanted to give you a look on the inside. I did put a couple of dryer sheets in there to maybe help it feel a little more fresh. It doesn't really do anything. You can see where the pee jug goes right in and our urine diverter. And I'm going to show you, or Ray's going to show you, just how easy it is to put it back together.
And Brutus may help us.
Now, again, this is the first time we've reused a bag. Generally,
New bag.
we throw the whole bag away and start a new bag. We are using an 8-gallon bag for that. And then the Downy bottle. Ooh, shout out to Downy, not sponsored by. Goes right in. And it's done.
That's it.
Now, honestly, there was some smell, right?
Very little.
Yeah, anytime you're gonna clean out your composting toilet, no matter if it's a luggable loo or $1,000 composting toilet, you're gonna get smell.
Right.
But now I don't smell anything. I mean, it didn't smell great when you open up the lid, but
Right.
we're back to normal. And we keep Lysol, and we always do a little bit of Lysol, but all is good.
All is good.
Since we're on the subject of odor, I think that is everybody's biggest fear, is the van smelling like pee or poop all the time, especially when it's a DIY, because all the other companies talk about how you don't smell anything, you don't smell anything. And that's true. We don't smell anything when everything's shut. So what I do want to show you is the importance, and this is the whole thing about a composting toilet. The key is to have your liquids and your solids completely separated. It's when you combine them is where you get all the odor. So we're keeping ours separate, as you just saw. One important aspect is the fan. So you want to install like a little computer fan, and that's what Ray did on our install. Down this hole is a fan, and it goes out the outside of the van. And because that is running constantly, it keeps our odors down. It doesn't get rid of them completely, but it keeps them down and keeps the poop nice and dry. So moisture and odor are two reasons why you want the fan. So with that said, if that's open, we can smell some stuff. If it's closed, the van smells nice and fresh. Since I'm on a roll and we need to finish up, I just want to recap. Definitely the cost was a huge factor in us and going with a DIY toilet versus a manufactured toilet. It's a big price difference. Also, the maintenance is so much easier for us just to dump out pee and to take a bag and throw it in the garbage. And then finally, the odor. There really just isn't any odor. And I forgot to mention in the last segment that even when we're actually physically doing our business, we can't smell it. So unless you need your own privacy, there's no need for your partner to leave the van. You're not gonna stink them out. So cost, maintenance, and odor. I give it a thumbs up for the composting toilet, the DIY composting toilet. Thank you so much for joining us today on the review of our DIY composting toilet. If you have more questions or just want to see more of the build of our toilet, we're going to put a video link right here. And then if you have more questions about our porcelain urine diverter, we're going to put a link down in the comments below so you can contact that company directly. If you have not subscribed to us yet, we'd love to have you as part of our community. So hit that subscribe button, that notification button, so you know when a new video comes out. Also, like, subscribe, share us with your friends. And today we're going to encourage some potty humor down in our comment section. Oh, and I almost forgot. We need to finish our story with Ray and his explosion.
Okay, so here's the story. So we are at the Santa Fe Indian Market in August, and it'd been a solid week of just Chili's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it hit me by probably the 4th or 5th day. So kind of scrambled, found a public facility, ran inside. So when I get inside, the walls, you know, the wall partitions are only about maybe this high, maybe 4 or 5 feet, and no doors at all. So I get in, and there's already somebody sitting inside beside me. Public restroom, you know, doors open, everything. So I go running inside, I sit down, and I'm totally embarrassed because I know what's coming. So I'm just sitting here and I'm doing my business, making all kinds of crazy noises, and I'm laughing a little bit too. So funnier part, so I'm sitting there and I think I've recovered, and a guy walks in and he almost can't breathe. He's dying. So he's at the urinal next to me. I'm sure he's not looking over the wall. If he is, I can't see him. I've got my head down. I'm laughing. I'm chuckling. So he gets in, he gets out, he runs out of that room so fast. So probably, you know, 5-10 minutes later, I'm finished. I go outside, and Chris is laughing.
And I'm laughing hysterically. So I watched this gentleman. I had no idea what was going on inside. I didn't realize that the walls were small. There were no doors on the stall. Like, it was fair game for all these dudes. And I see a guy walk in, and I saw him walk out, and he looked like he wanted to hurl. He could not get out of there fast enough. So I knew it was because you were doing some damage to that bathroom.
And I did.
So anyway, Ray finally comes out. I'm laughing. I'm like, dude, what did you do to that guy? And he's like, and he goes into the story of how there was no privacy and it was nasty.
So guys, if you're in Santa Fe, hopefully they have doors now on the stalls. Hopefully they've remodeled a little bit.
They probably had to when you got done.
Give them a little privacy. So
but anyway,
that's the story.
That's our potty humor for today.
So thanks for watching.
Bye.
If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and let us know if it was helpful. Also, please comment below if you have any questions about the van build or suggestions about the future content as we build out this channel. Follow us along our journey on Facebook or Instagram using Corn Dog Caravan.